Hello everyone, today I'm going to do a walkthrough video on the primitive pit. I received it about 2 weeks ago, and I'll go over some of the features that I ordered and how it's running so far. Firebox here is semi-insulated. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll open up some doors and get some light in there. But it's half of a 250-gallon propane tank. There you go, you can kind of see the throat. Runs real good. The only thing I might change on the door, as you can see, I have no vents. I actually prefer it that way. I think it is a little better to control. It takes a little bit more fire management. You can control the temperature by moving the fire forward or backwards or opening or closing the door. I kind of like what Chud did with the latch here, where he extends this a little longer and then cuts notches so that this handle can drop into a notch and you can kind of control the swing, especially because when you're on a trailer, you're not always necessarily on the perfectly level ground, and what can happen is the door can kind of do that. So if it had something where it could sit, I mean, you could set it there, but to be honest, that's not enough. You'll probably end up choking out the fire that way because the draw on this thing is ridiculous. One of the things I had added are these here for shovels and axes and whatnot, so that you can travel with them and have them hooked to the tank. Plus it kind of looks cool. I went with the trailer where you still have the legs put on and it's built on top of the trailer. My reasoning behind that was, one, for safety of people, because it kind of takes it off the ground, especially if you go to events where there could be children running around. You kind of get to keep it up higher, but also, like with me, I'm 6'2", and it puts the firebox right here, like where I don't even have to bend over to feed it or to control it. It's kind of nice. Also, it kind of gives you a place where if you want to put prep tables or anything up, you can, and they're out of the way. Again, like I said, you kind of get to be up off the ground and away from the general public, because with something like this, there are definitely a lot of people that are interested and want to come up to it. So this was more or less just for a safety factor for me. And another benefit would be that if the day ever comes where you want to open a restaurant, all you have to do is remove this from the trailer and set it in place. Go ahead and open it up. I did go with the slide out racks. What's nice that they did with these is when you slide them out, let's see if I can get a view, but there are catches back there. So you're not going to tilt the rack up or out, especially if you have a bunch of weight on the rack. Another thing I went with is this is their version of a water pan heater. I like it better than the solid shelf, because I think, for one, it probably doesn't interrupt the flow as much, and also you can kind of use it as another feature if, let's say, you're doing briskets and you know that's an all-day cook and you're getting hungry or want to make up something for lunch. You can throw some hot dogs and hamburgers on there, because at those temperatures it's basically a grilling grate. And I kind of did the same thing on the smokestack side as well, and I had them also build an extension to go all the way into the smokestack. Haven't quite figured it out yet what I want to use that for. It might run a little bit cooler, I'm not sure yet. Speaking of running cooler, it is pretty even, about 5 degrees from left to right. Top to bottom, not so much. It's definitely hotter up here. You might be running 275 down on the bottom grates, and then at the top you're going to be probably around 300. But it is actually cooler up on the top left here than it is on the rest of the grates, which actually still, if you know what you're doing, isn't that bad, because you can make two different types of meat. Particularly because, I mean, if you're running 275 at the bottom and you're only at 300 on the top on something like these big 500-gallon offsets, you've got so much convection taking place that those aren't hot temperatures anyway, not like you would in a backyard pit. I did go with having 6 gauges put on, and in addition to that, I do have the port for if you want to use any kind of gauges. This is nice though, because as you turn it, it kind of locks them in there for you. And it's got a nice, I don't know if it's like a rubber ring in the inside, so that you don't have your gauges getting pinched by doors or even rubbing up against metal, because some of those can be finicky, especially some of your higher end models. Trying to see what else would you guys care about. Oh, the handles, which is pretty cool. They do rotate. That was something I was kind of always curious about when I was looking at the primitive pit. These do spin, so doors aren't too heavy at all. Gauges are real nice. They are tell true. Got a nice collector here. Real tall smokestack. And the trailer itself, it is about 18 feet long. I did go with the double axle. With the trailer, it's about 1,100 pounds, and the smoker somewhere in the range of 2,500-ish, maybe pushing 3,000. I don't think it's quite that heavy. So it does have the trailer brake, and it does have a little wood basket in the front. Oh, another thing that I did go with is I went with the ball valve there for the grease to drain out of. The trailer does actually come with LED lights, and everything works well. The paint job was great. The wood is real nice. They did a good job with the decking. Well, if you guys have any other questions, just put them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. I know you guys probably want to see a cook, so I'll try to get something together here soon. I did do one last week. The drawl is crazy on this thing, and if I had to guess, I would say this is probably the closest to an actual Aaron Franklin pit that he would use in one of his shops. Like I said, you don't have the vents or anything like that. It really comes down to just your fire management skills. All right, if you guys have any questions, please comment below, and thank you for watching the video.